off.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to Two Tangled Skeins. I'm Sue, also known as Crafty Knitter 7 on Ravelry and Instagram. And today is Saturday, October 31st.
Happy Halloween. Yes,
This
none of us are in costume. I don't do Halloween.
No. And this is episode 134.
My name is Lynne, also known as Toll Baby on Ravelry and Instagram. And you can find us on Twitter and YouTube. We're still working on iTunes. Our blog is twotangledskeins.com.
Mm-hmm.
On to Selma.
I'm Selma, also known as Selma123
My
on
brain was
Ravelry.
going, you forgot something, but Selma's here.
Yes. I have to leave something for her to say.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I know what I'm supposed to say. Anyway, I'm Selma123 on Ravelry. And come and join our group on Ravelry. It's called Two Tangled Skeins. Come for discussion, prizes, cows, all kinds of stuff.
Darn it.
Did I lose it? Nope, it's in my crotch.
So, yep, it's Halloween today.
It's in her crotch. Should that be the
'Cause
episode name?
No. I get into enough trouble as it is.
So before we start, we want to talk about our knit-alongs.
You guys.
I think.
Oh, you guys.
As we always mention on the podcast, our knit-alongs are chatter-free. 1 post per person, not 5 or 6. If you're going to post multiple, please put them all in the same post. So if you finish something else, edit your post, add the new picture. 1 post per person. Because from this day forward, if you post more than once, you're disqualified.
Yeah.
We're done.
We
Selma thinks we're harsh, but we're done.
I think they're being a little harsh, but
Nope.
I think they're frustrated.
Yep.
we were well, the Socktober Cal, to be honest, at this point, has more deleted entries than it has valid ones.
And the problem, too, is a lot of people that do the Socktober Cowl let you put multiple entries. We have rules, people. Read them.
Yeah, because, I think a lot of people have been getting confused between our Socktober Cal and other people's Socktober Cals.
Yeah.
And double dipping is fine, but
No.
pay attention.
Double
please.
dipping is
Just
fine.
do 1 post.
1 post.
And actually, congratulations if you can knit that many socks in 1 month.
Yeah.
I don't think they knit that many. I think they finished that many.
Oh, so you're allowed to finish them?
Yes.
I have to say, I'm sorry, I haven't actually paid attention to the...
That's
I'm not,
okay.
I'm not a very good Cal.
You can't win
Person.
prizes anymore. You're staff. When I got made a moderator, I stopped being able to win prizes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I made you mod and admin all in the same day.
Yes, that's true. Well, actually,
Gave you rights, took away rights.
I stopped being able to win prizes long before I became a moderator.
True. Well, you didn't feel right.
Yeah.
No,
I
wouldn't
mean,
feel
I'm
right.
here, so.
I did finish a pair of socks in October, though.
I started and finished a pair of socks this week.
Oh, look at you, overachievers.
As I was telling the girls on the VKN last night, they're sport weight. They're on size 3 needles. They're
Meanwhile,
fast.
I'm like, knit. Nothing's happening.
So does this mean that we're moving into faux?
Yes.
Let's move into faux.
Yes.
So how many stitches did you do on your sport weight socks? I'm just curious.
Well, I'm going to talk about the other socks first, so be patient.
Okay, sorry.
Slow down a little, Selma.
I'm uncaffeinated so far, so I'm a little
oh.
snarky this morning. Give me a sec here.
Poor
Sorry.
Selma. She's with Snarky and Bitchy.
And that's it. It's no longer a family show.
I think that should be the episode title.
Okay.
Happy, Snarky, and Bitchy.
Meanwhile, I'll write this down.
Never mind dwarves. We're the 3 ogres this morning.
2 ogres.
two ogres in Selma.
Oh.
You can be, what was his name?
I hope it's not
You
a
can be
virus.
Donkey.
Donkey.
Donkey?
I'm Shrek, she's Fiona, you can be Donkey.
I'm always happy.
So, I finished my socks. I'm very happy. These are my Pinstripe Sunshine socks, based on the Pinstripe Socks by Julia Swart. The yarn is Woolen Studio Superwash Sock in the Here Comes the Sun colorway. I'm very happy.
They're really nice.
Here's the question.
There's a question?
Yeah. Do they fit?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
I tried them on the VKN.
I wasn't there. I was sleeping.
Not last night. I tried the first one on when I finished
Oh,
it.
right.
You were there. You made me do it. Actually, no, I think Mandy made me do it.
I think so.
No drinking game today.
No, we're done with that.
So they're done on size 1.5 needles, which is a 2.5 millimeter. I changed the pattern slightly. I had to modify the stitch count because the pattern. Sorry, I think I'm shedding here. I just felt something go down my arm.
Could be my hair.
And I'm pretty sure it's mine. I literally just got out of the shower before coming here, so it's probably me. Her pattern, it's a freebie, so I'm not really giving anything away, is based on a 64 stitch count. That's a little too small for me, so I modified it to a 72 stitch count, which means I had to change the number of stitches between the slip stitch rows. The other thing I did, I changed the heel. She has an afterthought heel, and I did my standard flap heel that I like. It's a slip stitch flap.
But you did try the afterthought heel.
I tried the afterthought heel on the board shorts ones, and I didn't like it. I don't like how it fits. I don't like how it looks. It's just not comfortable for me. Mm-hmm. I also changed the toe. I took the Yarn Harlots Grok the Sock class in Perth several years ago, and she taught me a toe. It's called the 4321 toe. It's a very rounded toe, as opposed to the straight and the flat across the top. So it's a far more, I'll take it off the blocker and show you. It's a far more rounded toe than the standard decreases. And I like it a lot better. It's a lot more comfortable, especially since I have really tall toes on the inside and it sharply goes down. So I changed the toe to my standard toe, and I figure I'll keep trying pattern socks, but it ain't broke, don't fix it. I know what works for me, so I'm going to keep using my flap heel.
But the thing is, you tried.
As much as I hate knitting the flap heel, because I hate them.
Yeah,
they
they're really
fit
not
well.
fun to knit.
They fit well. So I'm going to keep doing them until I can figure out something else that works better. I want to try the sweet tomato, and I want to try the fish lips kiss heel, neither of which I've tried yet. So
Sweet tomato, I haven't even heard of that one.
That's Kat Bordy's pattern.
Okay.
I think.
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
So that's my first faux. I have more than one.
According to Sue, it's the overachiever corner over here.
Yes. Well,
hey, I'm glad to have you in the category because you're usually the one calling me the overachiever.
Yes. Well, you're the sweater whisperer. You're the one who. Maybe we should send her Tommy's email. So on to my second faux. Give me a second here. Yeah, see, they're really stretchy.
Yeah. Very nice.
Are those for you?
Nope. These are not for me. Last weekend, I went out to dinner with my mom and my parents and my aunt. And I was working on the sock because we were at a dinner theater.
Your aunt's getting a new sock?
I'm getting to that. We were at a dinner theater, and I always bring my socks to knit on because, quite frankly, there's a lot of time between courses, and until the show starts and they put the lights down, I'm bored. So yes, I'm with people, but they're all conversing with each other, and it's a really loud place, and I have a lot of trouble hearing them, so I just kind of stick to myself. And so my aunt was watching me knit my socks, and she says, "Wow, those are really nice." And I was like, "Yeah, I love them." And she says, "You know," and I said, "You can't have them." She says, "No, but if you were ever so inclined, I wouldn't mind a pair of bed socks."
She pulled a Rob.
She did. She was like, if you feel like it, I wouldn't mind a pair of bed socks." So I went home and I started looking for. I have several balls of Bernat socks, which is a sport weight acrylic sock yarn, and I couldn't find. I don't know what I did with it. I've got like 5 or 6 balls of it, but I'm not sure where it's stored. So I couldn't find it. But Sarah this summer, Sarah the Canadian Knitter, from True Canuck Girl from the Canadian Knitter podcast.
I'm going to drink anyway.
You can drink whenever you feel like.
Exactly.
Gave me 2 skeins of Knit Picks Felici Sport in the Depths colorway.
Oh, it looks so different in a sock.
I know, right? So I decided to use that. It's wool and acrylic, but it is so soft. And it was so nice to knit with. And I don't usually go all OCD on my socks. But dude, look at how perfect this is.
But you didn't do it on purpose.
You see the one little stripe of light blue going out from the heel? I couldn't have done that more perfectly if I had tried. They are identical. Look at that.
I know.
I was so proud of myself. So these are my standard sock, which is based on Sock Recipe, A Good Plain Sock by Stephanie Pearl McPhee out of the Knitting Rules book. That's the Yarn Harlot for anybody who's not familiar with her name. They're in Knit Picks Felici Sport, which is discontinued. So I'm true to form. This is the Depths colorway, and it is on size US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter needle.
So how many stitches?
These are 48.
Okay.
Because it's sport.
Which is standard for me.
Yeah.
And for most women's feet. My dad has really thick ankles, so when I knit him socks out of this, they're 56 stitches.
Yeah, and I think that when I've made sports weight, I think they've been 48 stitches as well. So.
And they fit me, so they will likely fit my aunt, because she also has ankle swelling problems. So she has hypertension, and this should fit her perfectly. She said she didn't want super tall socks because she was only going to be wearing them to bed. So I made them a little longer than my ankle length socks, and they should fit her. Her birthday is in 2 weeks, so she will get them then. So that's my second fill. Now it's Selma's turn. Here's the sock blockers.
Got a little transfer going.
It's sock day today.
It is sock day, although I am wearing a faux, so I'll talk about that while I put my socks on a blocker.
Now I can knit.
So I'm wearing a faux from a couple of years ago. This was a stash busting.
I thought that was last year.
I think it's 2 years ago.
No.
It was last year?
I think so.
I don't know. We'd have to check. Not too long ago. And you know what? I feel bad. I'm sorry, designer. I don't know who designed it. It's originally it's a Let Lopi pattern, and originally it's a bottom up pattern. But I actually found somebody, and so it would be on my project page if you happen to be interested. Found somebody who made the same pattern but created a top-down version. And this was my first color work ever. So I liked the idea of it being top-down, because I thought I don't want to knit all the way up and then find out that I'm really no good at this color work thing and freak out and have to rip it out. So I was glad to find the top-down version, and actually the color work was not that hard, and it's worsted weight, so it was easy. And I this is one of my pieces that I think I wear probably the most. Like, I wear it once a week. I wore it at Rhinebeck. I could wear this all the time. I just love this vest. It's Cascade 220 is the purple, and then the different colors are all different colors of Galway yarn, and it's just stuff that I had in my stash. And I love this sweater, and I plan on making another one. Well, it's more like a vest. As Lynn said, I'm a bit of a vest. I've got a vest thing.
Yes.
So
Anyway, there are worse things to have.
There are worse things to have than a few vests. I don't think I have too many. But anyway. So that's one faux. That's the faux that I'm wearing. And then this is my next faux. It's a pair of socks that I made out of Julie Asselin's Lezu fingering in this Pinata colorway. So I think I showed the half pair the last time that I was here, and then I used Estelle Socket to Me turquoise for the heel and the toe. I did an afterthought heel. They're toe up sock.
I think it really makes the pink pop.
It really does, and now that I've actually showed these to you people, I can start wearing them. I've been keeping them so that they wouldn't look bad, but I love these socks. They're a little on the loose side. I used a 2.25 needle, and there are 60 stitches. But it's interesting because one of my whips is with the same number of stitches, the same size of needle, but the sock is a lot smaller because it's a finer yarn. This is a full fingering, I would say, weight yarn. Anyway, really, really like these. So that's one of my faux. My next faux, which is also a sock, this time for my husband, and these socks are knit out of, you know what, I'll just put one on a blocker. There are two though, just to prove it. This is a pair of socks that I made for my husband out of Juliana Fibers self-striping sock yarn. We've talked about Juliana before. She's a local dyer, and it's great yarn. Great colors, but also a very plump yarn, so I feel like they're going to be wonderful winter socks.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's her Lucid Dreams sock base.
Thank you.
And the color is?
Frog pajamas. Yeah. So they're done. They fit him perfectly. He's really happy with them. I just got to sew in the ends because I'm really lazy about
I'm glad
that.
to see it knit up because I have the skein of that I was going to give to my husband, and I'm kind of thinking, nope, gonna be mine.
Very nice yarn to knit with.
Next time she dyes it, I'm buying another one.
Yeah, she hasn't done any self-striping lately. She's got a lot of variegated in her
And
shop right now.
She just introduced some MCN worsted.
Ooh.
It's gorgeous. I need to get some, but
So-
I'm broke.
These were also knit on 2.25 with 68 stitches, and I did a rib with a mock cable every second cable, every second rib.
Which row are we on, Selma? The whole way home from Rhinebeck.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh no, I have to tink. Oh no, not again.
So I finished the first sock, and I was doing the mock cable on every second rib, right? So we're on the road to or from Rhinebeck. I can't remember when I started the
on
sock.
the way home.
I get to the gusset, and I realized, oh, I won't swear.
That's not what she said, but yes.
I was shocked.
I had swearing came out. I had done the mock cable on every rib. So suddenly I noticed this like halfway, well, most of the way up the foot. And I'm like, what do I do? And Elizabeth, who was with us, she was like, well, does it really
I
matter?
see what you mean, every second one. Okay.
Yeah, because I was doing the mock cable on every second rib, and then suddenly it was on every rib. So I put it back in the bag, worked on the other socks, came back to it 2 hours later and ripped it all out and started over again. I just needed a little bit of time.
And we had to question her every round. So which round is it? And she had to think about
and
it.
Everybody I had said, you have to yell alternate every once in a while so that I don't forget.
So that was Elizabeth's job, to keep her on the straight and narrow.
So yeah, that was a nice yarn to work with, and I'm glad to finish those socks. They're great. So the next one, and this was a Rhinebeck car drive, mostly done. This is the Turbo Hat by Teresa Seasons, who's a friend of ours.
T-Gale Designs.
T-Gale Designs, also known as Proper on Ravelry. And I've made this for my daughter. It was a really nice pattern to knit, I have to say. It was very quick to do. The lace is an interesting kind of lace.
It does.
It's very interesting. It's not a typical lace. In fact, it doesn't really feel like you're doing lace when you are doing it. But I really like the effect of it. It's nice.
I have to start one of those.
Yeah, and so my daughter is waiting to get this. So now I might just let her wear it. But
being
it's
on
great.
podcast stuff, you gotta wait to wear things.
Exactly. I did the top of the hat slightly differently from the pattern, because I wanted it to end a little bit more sort of quickly. So I did the decrease more rounded. I did the decreases a little bit differently, but it turned out really well. It fits well. So that's faux number 3, and that was knit out of Malabrigo Rios, which I got at the factory in Uruguay, and then I also made something else. So I had 2 skeins of this. This took about 3/4 of the skein to knit this hat. There are 200 yards in the skein, and so I finished off the skein and started the next skein by making the handbrake cowl.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Did I just drink the handbrake juice?
I think you did.
Such an easy pattern. Now I did
They're
this.
like Lay's. You can't eat just one.
I did not do the stitch count recommended. I did 90 stitches only, because I wanted this to be for my daughter, and I kind of wanted something
slightly more tightly fitting.
Yeah, something that was just closer to the neck, and for a child, because I imagine she'll have it under her coat. So I kind of made it like that. And I'm making...
So now you need to install a tracking device.
Yeah.
So that when she loses it, not if, when,
Yep.
She's a child. It happens.
It happens. Although her striped hat she found. She
Oh,
said,
where was
"Look, it was in front of this other teacher's classroom on the floor." Great. I'm so glad it was found. Anyway, things seem to float around and resurface every once in a while.
Well, like you said, it's the change of seasons when they lose things.
It's not in the winter, because in the winter the hat's on the head all the time, but it's in the fall and the spring when, it's cold in the morning and hot in the afternoon, right? Anyway, so 90 stitches, super easy knit, really fun. And so there you go.
Thank you for picking my knits, Mom. I had a piece of yarn on my leg, and she's like,
Did I say everything I was supposed to say about this?
needles.
Needles. I actually did the garter part
On smaller needles,
on
right?
smaller needles, especially the bottom one, and then I forgot when I got to the top. And I think that because garter tends to be looser, I noticed that some of the projects on Ravelry, there's a little bit of a flare at the garter section, and so I thought it would avoid the flare a little bit.
Actually, a couple of people in the cow modified the pattern to get that flare. I don't know.
To get more of a flare.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I'll have to see.
I guess it depends on what you like.
Some people did, some people didn't. I
Yeah.
think there's only a couple of people who did. I'm shedding all over my yarn here.
Yeah.
Okay, so your long cowl doesn't do that, or the short one.
The
Flare?
long one doesn't. The short one might. Well, Mandy's didn't,
Yeah.
but I don't know about the new one. I haven't blocked it yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm knitting a long one, that's why I'm just curious. But it's a beautiful set. It would go so
Yes.
well with the mitts you made for yourself.
Well, and I'm making a second handbrake, which we'll show you when we're doing the whips, but I thought, there might actually be enough to make a little pair of mitts for Isla. We'll have to see. Maybe not full mitts, maybe just little fingerless
Ones, yeah.
We'll have to see, but anyway.
It'd be a good fall set.
They're actually from two different skeins, and there is a slight difference to the
But
pink.
when she's wearing it,
Yeah, it won't matter at all, but it's kind of interesting. I mean, they're from the extras bin at the mill, so you never know what you're going to get. But they're great skeins. Nothing wrong with them.
actually, somebody approached me in the elevator and asked me if I knit my hat or if Selma knit it. Mariode. She's like, "Did you knit your hat?" I'm like, "No, this one actually Selma knit." And she tried it on and she didn't like it, and she put it on me and went, "Wow, it looks good on you."
I remember that.
And I wear it because even though it has holes in it because of the lace, it's not as hot right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Keeps you warm without overheating you.
That's
And it
funny.
goes-
And we've got a reputation. People know our knits.
It goes with my Mara.
Yeah, because it's got a similar
picks out
style.
the blue.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I just had to say that.
That's funny.
So
Well, you've knit for her, right?
Yes.
She's won a few times, right?
Yeah, at work with my team, I always do a little draw at Christmas to knit something for someone.
She's won twice.
She's won twice, so I made her mitts once and a hat once, I think. Yeah.
So, whips.
What's you knitting on?
I'm knitting on the flax. And I feel really good because this afternoon alone, this is the... Hang on. So, the flax, as you can see. And this is the arm. And I've knit... There's my stitch marker. I've knit all this today.
Good girl.
So, yes. Arms.
Well, she was getting frustrated with the body because it was miles and miles and miles of stockinette, but now she's on the arms.
Yeah.
So.
So,
Well, and have you even had a chance to tell everybody that you finished the body?
we showed it last
Yeah.
week.
Did you? Okay,
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
We
So
showed
that's
it
what
last
happens
week.
when you're not here.
I watched it though, but I didn't remember that part.
And this is the flax by Tin Can Knits, who is a Canadian designer. And basically this flax can be made for the whole family. It's a free pattern, right?
Baby all the way up to 4X.
Yeah. It's a free pattern. And if you want to learn to knit a sweater, it's a really good one to do because it's seamless.
It's part of her simple collection, which is designed to teach people to knit.
Yeah. And I should have listened. Well, no, did you tell me that when I started the Gusto?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have listened to you. I should know better. So anyways,
I'm getting used to this.
I got like 3 inches done. And yes, hubby did try it on.
And it fits.
It fits.
Woohoo!
Yes.
So,
And this is out of SMC Northern Wool Tweed from Webb's, which is discontinued. It wasn't 3 years ago when I started the Gusto out of the same yarn. But it is now, so I'm just following Lynn's footsteps.
Ha.
What else am I knitting? Oh, I want to show this. This is a really quick one. I'm doing more snowball buddies. So I'm doing the reindeer.
Oh, he's cute.
Because I did the rabbit and I did the owl, but this is the reindeer.
He's cute.
Oops. And the ears are here. I have to attach the ears. But I also have to do an I-cord for the reindeer antlers, and I don't know how to do that.
Oh, super, super easy.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
we can show you that.
This is for a swap I'm in, so this will be number 9. I need 15. So I have it all planned, which ones I'm making. They're going to be super easy. So Snowball Buddies is by Susan Cordino. Where is a picture of all of them? So that's a picture of them. There's a rabbit, a mouse, an owl, which I think looks like a bat, and a reindeer.
He does look like a bat.
He does.
Sorry, and then what did you put inside?
Polyfill.
Okay, you don't buy a ball.
Nope.
You fill.
No,
okay.
the balls were for these guys.
Right.
Those were balls. But
They're
yeah.
so cute.
Maybe you want to show people.
No.
Okay.
They've seen them.
They've seen them. They can go on my
They were
project.
the ones that
If
were
you're
actual,
new,
actual
too
ball.
late.
Go back a couple of episodes.
Yeah. Blankets. I have a square. Hold it in front of Lynn's face. I have a square. And I undid my entire blanket. They're all in here. Because I wasn't happy with the fabric. So instead of doing it on 2.75, and before I ripped it out, I knit on 2.5 and 2.25.
She learned from me.
And I liked the
I should have listened to you. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes.
Told you, get used to it.
I like the fabric a lot better. So yeah, I'm starting over.
Well, you hadn't gotten
to be
too
fair,
far.
I
No, I
didn't
had
tell her
6.
before she started.
Okay.
No.
But when I went to start mine, I tested the first square on 3 different needle sizes with 2 or 3 different stitch counts. I knit the damn thing 6 times
So this,
before I was happy with it.
yeah, this is the knitted patchwork recipe, which is a free pattern online. It's by Martine Ellis. And what was I going to say about it?
Have you changed anything about it?
No. Just the needle size and the stitch count. Right. Stitch count. I went up to...
So yes, you changed things.
I did change things. I'm still at I was at a 48 stitch count for the other blanket. Now I'm at a 52 because I went down a needle size and I wanted it to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah. So you don't need, 50,000 of them.
No, and so I undid them all. They're all balled up in here, and she's like, "Oh, just undo one as you go." Nope. During the VKN, all the balls got wound up. And the last thing on my needles, I started this over as well. This is the handbrake cowl, and you'll notice this yarn is not the same. This is a different yarn. It's Vanish Choice, and for some reason, I thought I was getting a yarn that was acrylic and wool, and I was really happy because it was machine washable. No, when I get home, I realized, no, this is 100% acrylic. But it's so soft. So I went to Michael's with my daughter, and
it goes very well with my outfit.
And I held up a ball of this and a ball of the loops and thread that I had originally purchased, and I said, here, squish them both. So she's squishing them both, and I said, does one of them feel squeaky? She's like, yeah, this one. Not this one, but the other ball, which was the loops and thread. And I just found it really stiff to knit with when people are talking about that stuff like there's no tomorrow.
Clearly,
So,
it got the dunk,
I don't mind it.
the dunk of approval or what?
I don't mind it.
This is for my sister. I'm on the ribbing, and I'm doing 300 stitches. Because I
Did you
want
want
it.
this back then?
Yes.
Okay.
I want it to be long, that even if she doubles it, it'll still be long enough. So that's all my whips.
Go ahead.
You want me to go ahead?
Sure.
I didn't bring my blanket this
I'll
time,
go last
although
because I only have 2.
okay. I have actually made progress on my blanket, but I just thought I've actually got a lot of other whips, so probably not a good idea to talk about
you're,
too many. I'm becoming a multi-project knitter. So right now, actually, in my hands, and I think I'm just at the part where I should probably start decreasing, is a hat, just a very basic rib hat, 2x2 rib hat that I'm making for my husband. Because guess what? He lost the last hat. What is it with my family members?
It's
Anyway.
not just you, if it makes you feel any better. Rob just asked me to knit him a new hat because he misplaced his.
Well, and again, my husband, I mean, because he wore it all winter, and he's the kind of guy who's always got a hat on because he's cold.
Did he misplace it in the spring and only told you now?
Rob?
Mm-hmm.
No, he had to bring his car in for servicing, wore it, took the train to work, couldn't find it when he went home.
And was
he
it
might
in the
have
car?
left it on the train. He might have left it. He might have dropped it somewhere. Who knows?
Okay.
Well, and my husband lost his in the spring as well. So there's a lesson in there of some sort. Anyway, so this is a 2x2 that I'm making out of Malabrigo Arroyo, which is also a yarn that I got at the mill in Uruguay. They didn't have a lot of the Arroyo, and that was the one yarn that I'd never knit with that I really wanted to try. It's supposedly the same base as the Rios. It's a superwash yarn, but this is a sports weight, although I would say it's almost a DK.
It looks like a DK.
Yeah.
It almost looks worsted.
It's really plump. And right now, so far, I'm really enjoying the yarn a lot. I did buy a sweater quantity, which is waiting to become a sweater, and so I'll be able to report back eventually how it wears, but it feels like it's going to wear really nicely. I'm very impressed with the yarn at this point.
Well, and as your husband wears it, you'll be able to see.
Yeah,
'cause that's a lot of use on your head. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So, it's just going to be kind of a fisherman's hat, that's meant to be rolled up and so forth. And I think I'm at the point where I can start decreasing.
Didn't you say you might have to knit him a new scarf because it's not going to match?
I don't think it's going to match. It looks really kind of just...
Plum.
Well, here I think it just looks like a gray and black.
Yeah.
But in certain light, you can see that there's a bit of a purpley plummy thing happening at times and a little bit of a greeny blue thing happening at times. He has an olive green coat and an olive green scarf. Kind of.
Now he's going to need a whole new wardrobe.
And now I'm thinking, I'm not sure that this is going to go with the scarf. So anyway, we'll see what we do about that. But that's one whip, and I'm doing it on 3.5, size 3.5 needles, and it's...
Which is the US 4.
Thank you. And it's in my camera bag, which I love so much. So that is whip number 1. As I said earlier, I'm also doing a second handbrake for thinking about a child. This one will go to the warm hands, or the other one. I'm going to give my daughter a choice because this one's
the same yarn.
It's the same yarn.
Okay.
It's the Malabrigo Rios. It's the rest of the skein. There's still this much. Whoop.
Oh my goodness.
And I really don't have a whole lot left to do on this cowl. Maybe this much.
Yeah.
And
it's a little kid. You don't want it to be like 10 inches long.
No, and the other one I made was 90 stitches. This one I made at 85. And so I'm going to give my daughter the choice of which one feels more comfortable for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one I'll give to the Warm Hands Foundation, or whatever they're called. Is it the foundation?
Network.
No, Network, yeah. And again, it's out of the Rios. And I did the same thing. I used 4mm for the garter ridge and 4.5 for the body.
Which is a US 6 and 7.
There you go. Thank you. You've got the converters here.
Mm-hmm.
You're the converters. And then...
Apparently we're trendsetters because now everybody's starting to do that.
So, the week before we went to Rhinebeck, I got a skein of Night Owl fibers that Sue ordered for me. And so I had to cast that on right away.
And I also messaged Rachel to tell her you were really liking and knitting with it, and she couldn't wait to see your review.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Rachel,
I haven't cast any of mine on
neither
yet.
have I. Oh, yes, I did, but I don't have a lot done.
It's the Sherlock Holmes colorway, which is the same one that Lynn got, and I had been oogling and ogling and going to the page, and I think I had even put it in my basket.
Mm-hmm. So I bought it for her.
And it's absolutely beautiful. It's just
I know,
beautiful.
because I saw you knitting, and I'm like, oh, why didn't I get that?
It's just, I call these my shoreline socks because the colors are so peaceful. And that was the one thing I was saying the other day, is that I find self-striping yarn is so gorgeous, but often they're really bold.
In your face.
They're in your face, bold colors.
Which she has as well.
Yeah, but I like
She's
this.
really good at the subtle colorways.
Yeah, and the pumpkin patch is similar too.
Yeah,
it's kind of a
it's
little
like
bit more muted, a bit more
yeah.
subtle. And that's what I really, really liked about this colorway. It's a merino nylon blend. It's a little bit more of a finer yarn. So even though this has the same number of stitches as the Julie Asselin socks,
They're a little finer. They're
It's
more of a
finer.
trouser sock.
you can see that there's actually a slight size difference. There's 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 a little bit of a difference in the size of sock. Same needle size, same stitch count. So it's a finer yarn, exactly, and actually these fit more like a trouser sock because they're a little bit more snug and hugging my feet. And I'm doing them the same type of slip stitch pattern that Lynn used for her socks, and not only does it just look nice and neat, but it's really flattering on the foot.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend this slip stitch type of pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And the striping turned out really well because
Beautiful.
I did a basic gusset heel and it just turned just so that the striping is kind of intact. Talk about luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I absolutely love them, and I'm on
And
to my second.
If you want to try some of Rachel's yarn, there is an ongoing coupon code.
There you go.
So,
Plug.
yes. If we're going to talk about it, we're going
Lovely.
to do the whole thing, right?
Yeah. So it's a finer yarn. So it makes for a nice trouser sock.
So soft.
Yeah.
I don't cast on another sock.
This is the merino blend. Apparently she does have a BFL,
A
blend.
BFL, yeah.
So it'd be
And
kind
I
of neat
just-
to try that at
I
one
like
point.
in the colors, it's kind of a little speckled.
Yeah.
Yep.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, and they're actually
tonal.
Yes.
yeah. I remember when I cast them on, I was like, oh, this is so peaceful, and I went looking for other peaceful self-striping yarn, and there's very little. So I think
The darkish gray kind of makes me think of driftwood. So
Mhm.
I really your color name is very
the shoreline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of thought it just looks like they're sea colors, you know. There's
Mhm.
stone, there's
They're
sand,
peaceful,
there's
but
water.
yet each color holds its own.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Very, very lovely. So Rachel, congratulations. You're doing well.
Yes, for a
Beautiful,
senior in
beautiful
high
colors.
school. Because we're going to say
We
that
will-
every
are
time.
we on that? I
we
mean,
will be
it's-
buying more.
Oh,
It's
definitely.
Beautiful, beautiful yarn. Okay, can I say a couple more things?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Not sorry, you told
Sorry,
me
not
to say
sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Don't be sorry, be quiet.
Okay, my last work in progress. Oh, well, there's the blanket, as I said. I just didn't bring it because
Ooh, that's
getting
a nice
big.
bag.
I like the size of that bag.
I-
I think I need to.
this is the bag that I got from Lara from The Fawn and the Fox. She's on Etsy as well. And I really love this bag. And it's got my vest in it with a couple of extra skeins of yarn.
It's a very nice.
This is her
size.
medium bag, but it's not much smaller than the granny bag, the awesome granny. Lovely fabric. I happen to have a thing about ochre, and when I come to the stash acquisitions, I'll have to show you something. Anyway, in here is my grandfather vest, and I'm almost done. I'm a little disappointed that it's not done, but I got excited about these smaller projects, and they took up my energies. But
I was gonna say, lady, you just knit 3 pairs of socks. You're almost done
2
the third one.
so this is kind of I just finished the front and put and did the bind off here. It's getting close. All I have to do now is actually try it on. I haven't even tried it on. And then I have to do the ribbing around everywhere and the buttons. When we were at Rhinebeck, I bought buttons.
They don't go.
No, they're a little too vibrant and they make this look really dull.
Oh.
So it just I bought blue buttons.
But when
thinking
you
that-
see them
Plaquette
alone,
Textiles is just down the street.
Okay, well I'll see. I'm gonna see what I'll even look in my own button stash and see what I've got. So anyway, I was where this little marker is the last time, and we're there. We're almost there. So next time I come on, this will be done.
Yeah.
This is the Grandfather Vest by Veronique Avery from the 24/7 knitting book.
I love her patterns.
And I'm using, oh my gosh, what was I using again? Merino Luxe by
it's here.
Diamond Luxury Merino Luxe, which I think is a discontinued yarn. Am I in that category too?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Anyway, it's she can't touch it because it's got some alpaca in it. And it's got mohair and wool.
None for me.
I love it though. So anyway, almost done. Next time it will be done, and I might even be cheeky and wear it.
Then you're going to sit next to Sue and I'll be on the end.
Oh, you're right.
Or I'll be on that end, her somewhere. I won't be next to her. No hugging.
So
I'll be in the middle. The two Tangled Skeins sandwich.
Those are my whips.
You're going to be a sandwich?
I'm going to be a sandwich. So what you working on?
Well,
Freaking crazy juice. Look at you go.
give me a second.
Mind you, I did rip my blanket out.
You did. So,
Is that your sock yarn?
oh. And I forgot the ball. I was going to bring it over to make minis, but I guess we'll have to do that at knit night sometime because I forgot it. Because I finished my socks. I had about a third of the ball left. There's a lot left.
Yeah, well,
it was a
short
really
sock.
big yardage ball too.
And you do
And I
short
do
socks.
ankle socks. Well, I'll show you this to start. This is my scrappy blanket.
So where were you last time?
I had done 3 on the top row and 6 on the bottom row. So I had done these 3 on the top and these 6 on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So this blue one is from Selma. This one here.
Yeah, that was a
Hold it
Juliana
closer.
fiber.
Sorry. This one here is Juliana's, which is funny because I have a skein of that.
Might end up in your blanket twice.
I have a skein of this that I have a shawl knit out of this that I didn't like and I was going to rip back. So this is my her Juliana's Lucid Dreams sock yarn in the Luna colorway. This is from my Sunshine socks. So this is Woolen Studio Superwash sock, and here comes the sun. This is also from Selma. I don't know what it is.
I can't remember either.
I figured
Can
I'd
I
pump
see?
your brain at some point.
That's not the stuff from me.
Isn't that the Gale's art?
No,
That might
No.
be the Gale's art.
it didn't feel like Gail's art. It's too soft. And it's a little too plump.
I'm afraid I cannot
These
recall.
2 are also from Selma, as is the green one I'm knitting now. I
Yeah,
was
this
going to
is-
mix and match.
This is Juliana's,
Okay.
I believe.
I don't know.
And this one was the Fortissima socks that I made Isla socks out of.
Sweet. So I was going to mix and match a bunch of different people's minis, but I decided that if I wanted to find out what they actually were, I probably shouldn't do that.
And this green that she's knitting with now is hand dyed by a Ravelry friend of ours and an Ottawa person, Cinderella on Ravelry. Arden,
Yes.
Arden is her real name.
And Arden, I have some of your yarn.
Isn't that cool? It's a BFL I got. I can't remember how. At some point.
So there's a bunch of different ones here. This one's from Mandy. This one's from Jen. Mandy's from our VKNs. Jen is Storm Coast, who is the which podcast?
Uncreative
Crafter podcast. We keep telling her she should call herself something different because she's one of the most creative people I know. And she's like, no, I'm good for maybe one idea a year. Because the other night
still puts you in the creative category.
We're VKNing and somebody was saying something and she's like, no, you should do this. And it was like everybody went boing, light bulb. And she's just like, yeah, that's my idea for the year. So my scrappy blanket is based on 2 different ones. I've got the knitted patchwork recipe by Martine Ellis that Sue is using, and I also based it on the memory blanket by Georgie Hallam, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, I'm sorry, that Rachel, who is Love Knots, is working on. I'm doing it on 2.75 millimeter needles, which is a US 2, and I am doing it with a 40 stitch count. So I basically took the needle size from one and the stitch count from the other and put them together. That's all
Until
I
you
did.
got the square that you liked.
Until I got the square that I liked. Because I honestly, when I first started, I had this square and I knit this square in its entirety 6 times.
And I think you did that because all of us were like struggling.
That's the thing. Everybody had a different texture, a different drape, and I liked the way this turned out. So I experimented a little bit and then went to town. So I am up to...
Which in turn, I think we've all,
12,
except for
13, 14. I'm on my 15th square.
Andrea, I don't think she started, but she's
No.
on the fence.
Andrea is not going to restart her blanket. We talked her out of it.
Okay.
Do you know how big you want this thing to be? Both of you?
Me to fit my queen size bed.
Yeah, this
Woo!
one's for me, so it's likely going to end up being king size.
I'm on the fence, lap blanket or queen size bed. And I might be going for a larger lap blanket because if it's on the bed, it's going to be doubled on top of me. He won't want it.
Well, see, I figured this is going to be light enough that I can handle it, as opposed to the ginormous, really, really heavy blanket that I knit Rob that you like so much.
I'm just like, I need that, because he went to give me one blanket, and you're like, no, give her this blanket. And every time I go there, I'm like, I need that blanket. Because I like being weighed down when I'm in bed.
And it's heavy. I can't stand having it on top of me, so I figured this would be a little more bearable. So that's one of my works in progress. The only other one that's seen any love this week, because quite frankly, once my aunt said she wanted socks, I don't normally jump in and go, yeah, I'll knit you that, because I'm a very selfish knitter. But
Okay.
But she doesn't know.
No, you are not.
I am.
You're always knitting for other people.
Yes, but I'm knitting stuff I want to knit.
Okay,
when I want to knit it.
A selfishly generous knitter.
Yes.
There you go.
That's the credo of the Selfish Knitters group
So
on
she
Ravelry.
doesn't know that you're doing them.
Well, I told her I would think about it.
Okay. So it's
But
Clearly, you thought quickly.
This is the aunt who gave me birthday money that ended up financing my trip to Rhinebeck. This is also the aunt, she's my godmother. She doesn't have children of her own, and she has spoiled me rotten my entire life. So if she says she wants socks,
what's
she
your
gets
aunt's
socks.
name?
Nikki.
Nikki, she did spend it on herself.
I did.
She did.
Oh my God, did I?
Yeah, and I think Auntie Nikki deserves a pair of socks.
She wants socks, she gets socks.
Whatever Nikki wants,
So,
Nikki gets.
The
You're
only
gonna have
other
to tell her
thing,
to watch this little blurb once you've given them to her. You're famous.
there you go. The internet knows who you are now. The only other thing that's seen any love, and it hasn't seen a lot of love, by the evidence, like I've done maybe 6 rows here. Yes, almost the entire ball of yarn
amazed.
fits in my mug. This is the mug I bought at Rhinebeck. The ball of Xanadu's in there, and it fits perfectly. And I mean, I haven't used that much. So yeah, the ball of yarn fits in there. So that's my yarn knit for this this project, because my yarn knits have other stuff in them. So it has seen a couple of rows of love. Not a lot, because I've been working on the socks pretty much nonstop, which is how I cast on a pair of socks 11 p.m. Tuesday night and had them finished last night.
And that's also the beauty of sports weight socks.
Yeah.
I think my first pair of socks were sports weight, and then...
Yeah,
well,
because remember you
they're
gave me
blue.
the scrap, and I couldn't use it because it was too thick.
Yeah.
Speaking of, if anybody, VKN guys, if anybody wants some sport weight leftovers, I've got piles of this. Because I used maybe 2/3 of each ball. I've got lots left. So this is my checkerboard lace scarf. Sorry, I'll put that up a little bit closer so you can see it.
So beautiful.
It is by Pearl Soho, and it's out of Bijou Basin Ranch Xanadu in the gray colorway.
Which a few of our friends had
It
to
is
purchase when they were at Rhinebeck,
soft.
and they're blaming us.
I actually brought this to Rhinebeck with me, not to knit on because I need to concentrate. It's a little more complicated than just, I can't do lace while talking
The
to
look
people.
on Carl's face was just awesome.
I brought it, and I literally brought it, and I was like, here, touch this, to people. So people were coming to shop in the booth, and they were petting my scarf. Which was the idea. I wanted to show Carl, and he thought it was really cool. So I brought it, and people were petting it, so it's probably got lots of people's fingerprints on it at this point. But yeah, it's only, I'm planning on getting a lot more done on it now that the socks are finished, because I have nothing else. I've got Rob's socks, I've got this, and I've got the fingerless mitts I started last week that saw
Travelers.
no love whatsoever. The Travelers Mitts by Tsunami Knits.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't touch them, so I literally still just have the cast on. I went to dinner on Saturday night with my aunt. I started the socks Tuesday, because I was trying to finish my socks first. I wasn't going to cast on another pair of socks as long as I still had mine on the needles. So I had to finish those. Those took me till Tuesday midday. And then I started the socks that night. So not a lot of love shown to any of my other knitting. And that's all I've been working on this week. Sue's turn.
I already did my whips.
Oh, you already did your whips?
I already did my
Woohoo!
whips.
Moving
We're on
right
to
along.
stash.
Oh, stash.
Stash. I have no stash. None.
Is that the post-Rhinebeck diet?
No, I do have a couple of things, but they're in Chicago.
You'll get them at the end
I'll
of
get them.
November.
I'll get them on Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, not ours. Oops. Sorry.
All right. Go ahead, Selma.
Sorry.
Ooh, well, so of course there was the Night Owl fibers that I received the week before Rhinebeck, and then there was Rhinebeck, and then there was Rhinebeck.
Did we enjoy our first Rhinebeck?
We enjoyed our first Rhinebeck immensely.
It was just, it was hilarious. Walk in and she's like, oh my god, look at all the hand knits.
It took her a couple of hours to get over that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever did.
Well, you stopped exclaiming
you were
excitedly
among
about it after the first couple of hours.
I saw the woman who has copper corgi yarns on Etsy. I didn't know who she was, but I went up to her and I said, the color of your yarn on your sweater is absolutely stunning. She had a beautiful green sweater, and she gave me her card, and then it turns out that she's an Etsy dyer. Really gorgeous colors. But she didn't have it. She was just walking there. She was there as another patron.
Mm-hmm.
It was great fun. And honestly, I thought, okay, is this what heaven will be like?
I never want to leave when I get there. I just
6 hours, and I could have gone for another 3 easily on Saturday. It was wonderful to see people wearing knits. Of course, looking at yarn all day long. And I think the fact that you're in and outside, like you're not always in. I was thinking
it's not as stuffy.
No, you don't feel like you're in a stuffy place at all. And if I go to, like a Christmas craft show, after 2 hours, I'm done,
Well,
even though
Stitches is a whole different atmosphere because it's in a conference center.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally,
more tiring, I find. Whereas we're in and out, and there was the podcaster meetup, so we're on the hill, and then you're walking around, and you're not walking on hard surface because you're often on grass, and so it was just lovely.
A lot of the barns have dirt floors.
Yeah.
So.
And I think even people who are just crafty people would really enjoy it. And I do think that Ravelry has probably turned it into a completely different kind of show than it used to be.
Because they have a whole Ravelry meetup.
Well, and I think, this whole indie dyer business has gone
people
crazy.
Weren't lined up out the door for Jenny the Potter before Ravelry. People weren't lined up out the door for Miss Babs before Ravelry.
No.
So
Oh, I think, it's
gone
just
crazy.
Anyway, it was great fun. And I got some lovely yarns. So the first thing I bought, and I only bought the singles. I did buy a couple of sweater quantities.
I'm going to stay back here because I know that this is...
This does not have anything.
That's
in
not
it.
the alpaca?
No, but that one.
I was going to say that is.
We stopped at the Bittersweet.
Bittersweet
as you know,
Winery. Yep.
Sue and Lynne bought some stuff there. I was looking through my sweater quantities because I wanted to make the featherweight cardigan by Hannah Fettig. And I had some Malabrigo sock that I thought I was going to make it in, but every day I'd go and put the sock yarn up to my face and think, featherweight? And it just wasn't doing it for me. So when we got to the Bittersweet stall, I saw this yarn and I was like, featherweight. And that was the end of it. I just bought it. And
she went and took some more out of storage to
because there was one that
match.
didn't quite work. And, oh no, of course I didn't bring the band. Do you remember what it was? It was some sort of...
It's the I can't remember what her
fairy dust or something, or stardust.
Yeah,
Stardust. And it's in this sort of maroon colorway. It's got sparkles in it.
It's pucey, purplish red, or reddish purple.
And I caked it up and I started swatching right away because as soon as the vest is finished, this is going to happen. So next time I'm on, there will be at least part of a sweater. Yeah. Love, love, love that.
As long as I can spread the addiction.
Then I bought another skein. Now, because of the conversation that we had a few times ago about...
okay. I'm just giving you more leg room here.
About different types of sock yarn, I decided that if I was going to buy any sock yarn, it was going to have something other than merino in it. So I did buy two... Sorry, it's bending down here. I did buy two sock yarns. One by Bittersweet in this colorway.
That's
it was
the
from
Hero,
her
right?
Hero base,
Yeah, it's the sale
which is
yarn.
a BFL nylon, 460 plus yards, called Very Idling, and it's this sort of icy blue. There's a tiny bit of green which is not getting picked up on camera. And then the other sock yarn that I bought
It's gorgeous.
is from Into the World. and what in the world is the color? It's called Walla Walla is the colorway, and it's their Bethel sock base. It's also a Blueface Leicester. Oh darn, there's no nylon in this.
That's okay. They make a nice shawl. Or nice socks. BFL is sturdy enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's in this colorway here, which goes from kind of a red to greeny ochre to turquoise.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's a nice mix of jewel tones and earth tones.
Yeah, and actually my husband was like, ooh, that's gorgeous, and I thought of making socks for him, but I'm not making socks for him if there's no nylon in them.
You're not making socks for him out of that anyway. That's for you.
Okay. Twist my arm. And I know exactly which socks I want to make out of this. It's going to become the skew socks, which has got like this upward diagonal striping thing happening to it.
Is that Megan's pattern?
It's not her pattern, but
Okay.
she seems to have made a couple of pairs.
Okay.
And Elizabeth, who was with us on the Rhinebeck trip, had also
Yeah, she's done one or two pairs of
Rizu,
those.
Riizu. She's got some in her project page as well, and I was like, those are really nice, and they fit the foot really nicely as well. So that's into the world. Gorgeous colors. I really had a hard time choosing which one to get because I
have a braid
beautiful.
of theirs that I never spun. Yeah, I need to get spinning.
Yep.
Sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have 50,000 spindles.
Yeah.
Oh, and then when we had the podcaster meetup, people just look at that.
Andrea.
Andrea and Jen. We got a little ball from Jen right there and a bunch of minis. So thank you. I haven't turned them into balls yet because I've been waiting to show them off, but I really appreciated that. The blanket will too. One of the things
Ask for minis and you shall receive.
one of the things that I really wanted to get there, I had a list of, possible things, was some sort of more rustic yarn.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
So I stopped at this one stall, Foster Farm yarn, and this is 85% Romney and 15% Wensleydale. So I've never knit with those sheep.
It's actually softer than
I
I
have
thought
both
it would
of
be.
those to spin.
You've got all the breeds.
Not all
So
of them.
it's this kind of raspberry color, and I just fell in love with it. And I've got a sweater quantity of this. And I thought, do I feel bad
What
about
weight
this?
is it?
It's a worsted weight. I don't feel bad about this because it's probably going to become the Acer cardigan or something else with cables. It's gonna.
Why would you feel bad about something that makes you happy?
Well, because I've got lots of sweater quantities.
They're lonely and they like having friends.
I've got a ton of single skeins of sock yarn. Did I not buy sock yarn? No, I bought sock yarn.
Anyway, I knew that this was going to become sort of like probably, just a really rustic, cozy, cabley kind of cardigan. And I've been wanting to make the Acer cardigan. I can't remember who it's by. For a long time.
And had you not bought it, you might have regretted it.
I probably would have thought about it.
Mm-hmm. I know.
So I got 5 of these to make, oh my gosh, 263 yards.
That's really good.
Well, they
for
consider it
worsted.
DK actually.
Okay.
They're saying it's DK, but
It's a thick DK.
it's a thick DK. And then our friend Elizabeth was wearing her Ricka hat, and I kept trying it on whenever she wasn't looking, and
Well, I could spot her in the barn because I was looking for the yellow hat.
and I tried it on in front of her too a couple of times, and I was like, oh, I like the fit of this. So I thought I need to buy some yarn to make the Ricka hat. So I found this stuff, which is by Brooks Farm, Brooks, which were from Lancaster, Texas. And it is a sort of, what do you call this kind of yarn? Marled alpaca yarn, 50 alpaca, 50 wool. And so this is going to become a purple Ricka hat, and then there'll be leftover because there's a lot, and that'll become probably fingerless gloves.
It was kind of hilarious because she kept draping skeins over her head and going, this one, this one, this one.
This one. So there we go.
You're like, I don't care as long as I don't touch it.
And then I got a bunch of little things like soaps and some dye and the buttons that aren't going to work for my vest and
Little alpaca.
a little alpaca animal for my daughter for either her birthday or for Christmas.
And yes,
a little loom.
I'm still trying to fix the Rhinebeck episode, so.
Yeah. But that was what I bought on Saturday. And then Sunday morning, I was still thinking about this alpaca that I had seen at Persimmon Tree Farm at their stall. Lynn and I were standing at the gate, and Lynn said a poncho would be nice to make because there was a woman there with a really gorgeous poncho.
She was wearing this beautiful poncho, and I was like, oh, I need to make that. And then
I was like, oh, I've been wanting to make that easy folded poncho by Church Mouse Yarns for a long time. That alpaca would look great in that. Boom. So now that I knew what I wanted to make with it, I did not feel remotely guilty for spending a crazy amount of money on this alpaca.
Because holy crap, was it expensive.
Because it was expensive, but it is 660 yards.
I know, but oh wow.
It was
Your,
still expensive.
your husband's eyes bugged out.
He did when he saw that. But I have to say, like...
But that's going to be a really versatile piece.
I
a lot.
I was just like... I mean, I practically dreamt about this alpaca that night.
And if you love it that much, you will use it.
It was just beautiful.
But I mean, when you think about it, the output of yardage you get for that price...
Well, this is more than I need
Exactly.
for that shawl, so this will probably end up having, other...
Fingerless mittens.
Fingerless mittens,
or
a hat.
beret,
Yeah, exactly. It's going to become other stuff, too.
She can be super classy. Do her supermodel thing.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, I could just stare at this. So that's it for yarn.
You got anything?
I have two things.
There you go.
Oh, sorry. One
Wait.
more little thing.
She's not done.
There's more.
Yeah, so I did a yarn swap with Lara from the Fawn Knits podcast.
Jeez, it matches.
And she made me a little bag to go with my big bag because she remembered that I had bought that other one. And in it are all the minis that she got me. So there's a bunch of minis in there.
No.
But I squealed when I saw this.
Well, she obviously remembered the bag you bought.
How could you not? It's so cute.
It is so cute. So there we go. I am now finished.
Sure.
Yes. I have to say, although I suppose you're supposed to be on a diet after Rhinebeck, I have purchased other yarn, but I didn't want to.
I got home and ordered more yarn.
Yeah, next time. This way I'll have something to show next time, because now I really am on a diet. Mm-hmm.
So, David's Tea Advent Calendar actually comes out tomorrow for most people, but because we're frequent steepers, we got the email early.
I didn't get an email.
Oh, I must have gotten
Sarah-
I'm a frequent steeper.
Sarah got the email. I didn't get the email, so she sent me the link, and I was still able to go in and purchase. But look how gorgeous this is.
Now those each make a single cup, right?
I think so.
Most of the tea bags I find
One or
make more
two.
than one cup.
Yeah. So this is my Advent
Oh,
calendar.
it smells so good.
It
smells chocolate mint.
I've been wanting one of these.
Smells like
Which
the
she
store.
won't like, so you can probably have it.
I've been wanting this since
Once
I saw
December
it
rolls around.
on Sarah's podcast last year. It was one of the first podcasts I watched from her, and she had the thing, and I went and I couldn't get it. So, love it. And these are for the podcast.
And tea is related to yarn because you drink tea when you knit.
Yeah. I got 3 more books from Tommy, who watched the last podcast and said thanks for the shout out, but we love you, Tommy. So I got Spirit Knits.
That's the one I was looking for. Yeah.
Which is by Anne Podlesak. We got Family Friendly Knits by Courtney Spainhauer.
That was the one you were super excited about.
Yep. And we also got Dressed in Knits by Alex Capshaw Taylor.
I'm in
and
trouble.
the sweater
I know,
on the
that
front.
was the one I was really excited
The
about.
sweater on the front, think it needs to be made.
Wait.
So
I
these
like that color work one on the back.
these will be reviewed soon.
I think we need to do a book review episode.
Well,
We
I
can
think
do
it
that.
should be like an offshoot.
Mm-hmm.
Because people want to see our knitting when we podcast.
Maybe we can start doing booktube videos.
No.
No? Okay.
Oh, this Free Spirit one. Actually, I've seen some of her patterns on Ravelry. I've favorited some of them, so I'm very intrigued by this, I must say. Oh.
You have one more thing you got.
Right. My needles.
Well, you got 2 more things you got.
Oh. So Lynn gave me her blackthorn needles because they just don't work for her.
Yep. Yeah,
And
unfortunately, it's a texture thing for me. They're not the reason that carbons have the nickel edges is, I think, why I don't. Yeah, it doesn't. They don't stay.
well, you
They're
have to
slippery.
close it. That's
Yeah,
why.
I know. It's because it came that way because it was easier to ship, and I
Yeah.
just never bothered to close the packaging. There are striations along the needle, so it's not a smooth needle around. And when I went to cast on with them,
I love them.
the striations were sort of grinding against each other, and it just, I couldn't do it. They're lovely needles. They are stronger than anything I've ever seen, because I literally went like this with it and tried to bend it, and I couldn't. And they're beautiful needles, but unfortunately the texture means they're not for me. So if she likes them, she can have them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're beautiful needles. If you can get them on sale, grab them.
Yep. And then Lynn bought me this because I'm a Marilyn fan,
I was at Michael's and they had it in these are those metal signs that they have.
and I have 2 of them up there.
So we went and picked up Marilyn yesterday.
And then these came in the mail.
Oh, you got jamberries.
I already have 2 full sets of jamberries.
What are jamberries?
Actually, I think they're pronounced jamboree, but I'm not sure.
Oh,
no,
for
it's
your nails?
jamberry.
Is
They're
it?
for your nails.
Okay.
But I haven't been wanting to use them because I'm afraid I'm going to mess them up. So Andrea, thank you very much. She sent me a bunch of samples to try
Fun.
before actually,
Did
because
she
I
do them?
no, I don't think so. But I had actually won 2 sets of jamberries via an Instagram giveaway.
Because my cousin is a rep. I've just never ordered any.
So
'cause-
thank you for all the samples. I was expecting 1 or 2, and she sent me like 5 or 6. And that's it. Are we done?
We had a couple of questions.
Yes,
There was
yes.
somebody who asked about how I knit, and we're actually I actually filmed a little video, but we are having some technical issues with the video. So once
getting
we
it
get
off
that-
the phone, yeah.
getting it off the phone, which I recorded on. So hopefully we'll do that in the next week, and we'll put it in the thread.
2 coupon codes. We have several in the coupon code thread, but 2 are expiring today. So if you want to get the Fibonautilus, which is a shawl that follows the Fibonacci sequence by Teresa, who is our friend, Proper T-Gale Designs, you can use the coupon code 2Tangled, all capital letters written out, and it will get you the pattern for $1 until the end of today.
And it's a really pretty shawl.
It really is.
Today being the 31st. of
Yes, today's the
October.
31st. And the other one we have is from Little Panda 518, who is stitched together for G on Etsy. And her code is TTS, capital letters 15, and it gives you 15% off until the end of today, which is the 31st.
And she's also the Stitching You In More podcast.
Mhm.
She's having a 100 member giveaway.
I
Oh, is
think
that
that's
done?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Copy and paste. She had to redraw.
Oh.
Mhm.
So if you are participating in the Socktober Cal, you have until midnight tonight to get your stuff up in the thread.
Single post.
One post. Because I think if we have to delete any more posts, Sue is just going to be, no more Cals!
Yeah.
It
I'm going to
was-
put all the names in a spreadsheet and we'll do it that way. But
Yes.
forewarned.
You guys have been behaving in the handbrake, Cal, so I don't know what the deal was with that one.
I think people got excited about
I
this
think it
October
might,
Cal.
like you said,
Because other
do.
people are doing.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there are so many Socktober podcasts, like Cals for different podcasts,
Mhm.
and they all have different rules. So the important thing, if you're double dipping, is just to make sure that you've read the rules on each one. No big deal. But yep, if you're Socktobering, you have until midnight tonight. We've extended the handbrake Cal until next Saturday, next Friday.
At midnight.
So you have until midnight next Friday, and then we will lock the thread and draw.
And we
So
will
is it
do,
the same rule? One
Yeah.
one entry?
One per
if
person.
you have several, put them all in one post.
Yep. We have several people who have done, like Izzy Beth did 4 of them.
And that way it sort of gives everybody the same chance to win.
Well, that's the
Right.
thing. If you do more than one, you don't get more than one chance in the draw. So
No.
please, just one post.
Buy one lottery ticket
Pretty
each,
please. You can have as many numbers as you want on that one lottery ticket, but only one.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
I think that's it.
Woohoo!
Well, nice to see y'all again.
You weren't expecting to come. You were going to try.
Yeah, today all kinds of crazy things were supposed to happen. And it sort of ended up a little bit calmer than I thought. So I was like, ooh, does this mean I can go and podcast? I can.
Yes, yes it does.
It does. So that was fun.
You visited your bubble.
Happy crafting. And
I visited my what?
Your bubble.
TTS
My bubble, yes.
She calls this the TTS bubble.
The TTS bubble. I didn't hear bubble. I don't know what I heard. Something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Happy crafting.
Happy
See
crafting.
you next week.
Happy Halloween and happy everything.
Happy trick or treating.
Bye.